Helps it if I unmute my mic, doesn't it? I was just saying how long it's been since we've had a game, and you can tell because I haven't unmuted my mic. Should be able to hear me now. Leeds against Man City at Elland Road. Couldn't get to this one, but we will be watching it tonight on the live stream. So hit that like button if you are in the chat, and hopefully we do not get completely steamrolled. Obviously, Erling Haaland for Manchester City tonight. Returning to the place which he was born. Jamie said so before foregone conclusion, and Kelvin said stranger things have happened but not expecting anything from the game. Is that negative? No. Well, it's not negative, no, is it? Because this City team is ridiculous. When you look at the playing staff that they have, it's unbelievable. They've got such talent. Hi, Michael. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live stream. They've got such a depth and a wealth of talent in this Manchester City team. It's absolutely ridiculous. But here's hoping that Leeds can do something magnificent. We have, of course, beaten Man City before after that brilliant Stuart Dallas winner, in which there were no fans in the stadium. So tonight there are fans in the stadium. The atmosphere will be crackling at Elland Road, and we're just about to get underway with the man who was born in Leeds, Erling Haaland. Referee for tonight is Stuart Atwell. Obviously, Tyler Adams is out for this game as well. Let me just make sure that when the game starts, I put my timer off because I forget to do this every time. Just about to kick off. Players taking the knee. Let's try and time this right. And Haaland takes kick off. Ooh, I'm nervous for this one because, well, I shouldn't be really, because I know that really we're not expected to win. But we know how good Manchester City are. We really do know how good they are, and it could be a rout if we're not careful. So, especially without someone like Tyler Adams, who was so great for the US national team in the World Cup, we really need to sort of try and cover for that position. It looks like we might be playing a bit more of a 4-3-3 tonight, with Aronson, Gnonto and City are in already, but Strauch's managed to clear it off the line. I couldn't believe what I was watching there. City go through already with Haaland, gets it over the top of Meslier, past Melier's glove, who gets a hand to it, and then Strauch is able to get it off the line. But why have we done that so early? Just don't give anything silly away that early. We don't need to go hell for leather straight away. Aronson trying to break out the ball after he's taken it off Grealish, but Man City look like they're about to win it back here. And they do, and they recycle a possession all the way back to John Stones. John Stones partnered by Manuel Akanji, who was really impressive in the World Cup. They've actually got a right-back starting tonight, Man City, that I don't recognise, so I think he's a youngster, and I'll have to see when he gets on the ball. Ball with Gundogan now, and back to Rodri, and then back to Akanji. Like I was saying, for this Manchester City team is like ridiculous, isn't it? So we're not really expected. We're not really expected to do anything. But to be honest, I'd be happy if we don't get beat by 3 or 4. Rasmus going in with a little bit of a heavy tackle on Grealish, but adjudged not to be a foul. Gundogan on the edge of the box gives it out to Mahrez, who sprays it wide to Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish into the box, and Leeds are able to clear through Sam Greenwood. It's going to be a backs against the wall performance tonight, I think, for this Leeds team, because for me, unless we sit back and try and defend and try and stop that overload. Now, if any of you missed my video about the left back issue, I said that it wasn't just about the actual playing personnel. It was about the way that we set up, which really easily allows teams to just switch the ball against us. And with somebody like Mahrez on one side and Grealish on the other, we could get really punished with that, especially with someone like De Bruyne playing the ball. Morning, Rob, for you, I guess it is. What time is it in Australia? But yes, Grealish is falling about the place as usual. Michael said it looks like Leeds have learned their lesson and getting their January business done early with Max Vober. I just hope they can bring in a forward and central midfielder through the door early enough. It seems from what I saw, that we may be bringing in Max Vober or Verber. I don't quite know how you say his name yet, but I will be doing a video on him. Haaland in the box, just swinging a miss, nearly after a little free kick there. Looks like Vober will be coming in. He's a left-sided centre-back, so we may potentially start playing three at the back, but we kind of have Cooper, Strauch, and now we'll have Verber as well as a centre-back on that side. So unless we play as a three and then we sit one of those on the left-hand side of that centre-back three, then I don't really know what we're going to do with him. He has played left-back a fair bit this season, but it seems as though we are going to be trying to do a left-back as well and no striker or midfielder or anything. That I think that's the plan, just to get a centre-back and a left-back in, which... To me, I think we need a striker, but if we can stay up without one, it's sensible that we might get a better deal in the summer. Strauch manages to take the ball there. A little flick around the corner from Gnonto. Strauch now down the left-hand side. Tries to play it inside to Rodrigo. Rodrigo lets it run, but Aronson wasn't quite on his wavelength, and it's gone all the way through to Ake. And then Grealish is tripped. And with Grealish, you never know whether he's been tripped or not, do you? Sam Greenwood tries to go in for the ball. He doesn't even touch Grealish, and Grealish just jumps on the floor. I hate it when the commentators are literally watching I like Ali McCoy, but he's literally watching a replay of Grealish going down without being touched and saying it's a silly challenge and stuff. Well, really, Sam Greenwood was doing what he was supposed to be doing and just sort of backing him off and sending him back towards his own goal. But, yeah. Few new Leedsy Christmas presents as well to see today. The new like retro style jacket I've got. My girlfriend got me that, so I think that's well smart. Retro style Adidas Originals Leeds jacket, and then she also got me this as well, which I thought was quite cool. So that'll be my live streams and my office bottle from now on. Always got to be on brand, haven't you? Speaking of which, subscribe if you haven't already, and like the stream so it gets it out there to more people. That'd be really appreciated. Seems like Reds wants to move on. Yeah, I have seen that as well. Just as another ball goes into the box and Meslier is able to claim. I have seen that as well about Radrizzani seeming like he wants to sell up now. He said, I think in a interview, that he wants to give it to somebody who can invest properly, because he feels like he can't. He feels like he doesn't really have the money to be able to invest that much. Which if he can't, then yeah, give us to somebody who can actually invest the money that we need, considering the size of the club that we are. Here come Man City on the attack again. Lewis on the right hand side. De Bruyne into the box. De Bruyne nearly curls one in the top corner. Michael saying, I just hope Rodrigo, Somerville and Gnonto can keep up their good form as before the World Cup. They'll be key to survival in the Premier League. Yeah, definitely. We need them firing on all cylinders, really, don't we? Rodrigo's form is the best it's ever been at Leeds. He's scored 9 goals this season, which is excellent for him. Gnonto is just coming into a bit of form where he's not setting the world on fire yet, but he looks like he's showing all the sparks to start that. And Somerville, obviously, as well, had been scoring a goal a game before the World Cup. So hopefully those lads can keep firing. Hopefully some of the other lads as well, like Aronson and stuff, can maybe chip in with a few goals. That would be a bit more ideal, because we don't want to leave it just to those three players to do. Also, I want to see, what's his face, that new lad, Sinistera. Cine. It's been so long. We're watching so many World Cup games, which I actually watched every single game at the World Cup, bar the Saudi Arabia-Argentina game, the first one where they lost. So it's been so long since I watched football that I forgot about Sinistera. But Sinistera is actually really, really decent, and I hope we see him come into a little bit more form as well, because he should really be helping out with the goals. Rob Bailey saying, I feel like we need to tighten up at the back. Yeah, definitely, and I think that's what those signings are about. I think that's why we've gone for that Maximilian Vober from Salzburg, and we're probably going to be going in for a left back as well, from what I've seen. So that could be really the answer to our problems. But on the other side of the coin, there is the fact that it's a tactical thing as well, that we leave ourselves so open at left back. And it's left back or right back. It depends on which side the balls come from. But the other side, there always seems to be a really easy switch on. Well, tell you what, there doesn't always seem to be an easy switch on. When we're getting counter-attacked against, it's really easy to switch the ball and get it past us. Hopefully upgrading Llorente was an effort to avoid him leaving on a free or getting a better price. Yeah, I think the Llorente thing, for me, it sounded like it was so that they could sort of manage his value and still get some money out of him if he was to be sold. But I don't know. I don't know why we would sign another centre back if we weren't going to get rid of one, because we don't need an extra centre back really, given who we've got. Although some people, like I know JT was saying that he thinks we've needed another centre back for ages because ours aren't good enough. But I think a lot of it's got to do with the system, for sure. With fancy little feet there, Aronson tries to do a little 1-2 with Greenwood, but the ball goes out of play. Jesse Marsh waving as if he's seen his mum in the crowd. It's good to be seeing Leeds back again. It's just a shame that it had to be against Man City, innit? Always the case, isn't it? You have no football for ages, and then when it comes back, it's against one of the best teams in Europe. And we've got Newcastle next as well, who've just gone second. So feel like we've got more of a chance against Newcastle, to be fair. I think they'll be in high spirits and they might be coming out and trying to attack us a little bit more, which may play into our hands given the confidence that they've got at the moment. Really, I know it's away, but really if Howe was clever, he would just play on the break and beat us at our own game, really, because that is the way to beat us and we all know it. Kelvin saying bad move for me, should have let him go. I'm guessing that's about Diego Llorente. Yeah, we should really. His value's not much anymore, only about £5 million. Is it worth signing him onto a new contract to get an extra couple of million out of him? I'm not sure it is. I don't think he's been good enough for a little while now. He has games where he's brilliant, but it's the lack of consistency is the thing for me. He's got mistakes in him, and once his head goes, he's awful. Maybe just had a growth spurt and it temporarily impacted his coordination for 3 years. Yeah, many excuses can be made, but yeah, I just don't think it's been good enough over the time that he's been here as a whole. Obviously, there's been moments where he's been brilliant. That streak at the end of the first season where we stayed unbeaten against all the top teams, he was excellent. But for me, since then, he's not been consistent enough, and he just makes mistakes. We've got to the first milestone, by the way. We're 10 minutes in, and we haven't conceded a goal against Man City yet. So I'm not sure what's happened. Michael's saying I'm not sure what's happened to Bamford, but I feel Leeds United won't see much of him this season. That's why we need another striker. Bamford's pretty much gone now, I think. I really like the guy, and he's been brilliant for us in the past, and he helps the team off the ball, but I just don't think he's going to be able to come back to the level he was ever again now, which is a shame, because like I say, I like the guy, I think he's good for the club, but really we need to start thinking about investing in another striker, and probably quite quickly, because Rodrigo's not going to be scoring goals forever. One win from the next 3 games be okay, as 2 games in hand. Yeah, we have got 2 games in hand, which people seem to forget a little bit when they say we're in a relegation scrap. We're 15th still, I think, and we've got 2 games in hand over everybody around us. Obviously, this one's Man City. Then we've got Newcastle. Who is after Newcastle? Can somebody tell me in the chat? Because really, that's the one you're going to be looking at, the one that's after Newcastle, because these 2 games are not unwinnable, but they're a tough ask. So West Ham aren't in great form, are they really? So maybe they can be got at a little bit more, but even so, I think they might have too much for us as well. That's when you start to see the issues. It's where you're thinking, where are your next 3 points coming from? If we play like we've played against some of the teams this season, then we'll get points. But the way that we've played when we've lost the games has not been good enough. Gnonto battling against Lewis here. Gnonto's managed to win the ball and give it into Forshaw. Forshaw back to Strauch. Leeds have got a little bit of possession here. Let's hope they can actually keep it and not just give the ball away like we've done so many times this season. Just seeing Calvin Phillips on the bench here. They were saying he was overweight and stuff when he returned, and people making jokes about him being the Yorkshire Purlow to the Yorkshire Pudding, but it'll be 1 or 2 little pounds. He's on the bench. He's not going to be. He's not suddenly ballooned, as he's put on a little bit of weight, and it might be water weight. You never know, but Pep obviously wasn't happy with it. But I don't know if it would be nice or not to see him get on the pitch, because I hope he doesn't get booed if he does. I also wonder if Haaland scores. Akanji's just won the ball off Greenwood there and managed to clear it out for Man City, and then Rocker makes a foul on Grealish, which you never know if it's a foul on Grealish or not. I wonder if Haaland's actually going to celebrate if he scores against Leeds. You can imagine with the type of bloke he is, he probably would celebrate, but he was born here, his dad played for us. I don't think he'd want to alienate the fans because he likes the club. And he's literally sang Marching On Together before with Calvin Phillips, but yeah, I don't think he would want to alienate the fans because he likes the club so much. If you haven't already, if you could hit that like button, that would be really appreciated. Thanks down below, because obviously that then helps get the stream out there to more people. Long kick from Edison here, and Strauch's missed the ball. It's gone all the way through to Mahrez, who's been tracked well by the Leeds players, but De Bruyne with the ball into the box, and Gundogan nearly with a low stooping header just goes past him. I think Bamford will continue to struggle. Rob's saying definitely. I can't see him coming back. Kelvin saying I think Calvin made a mistake. Top players need to be played, not just pick up. Yeah, the thing is with Calvin, he's been so injured as well. It's not just the fact that he's not good enough to start for them over Rodri. He's been injured so much as well. But I do feel, I think he only wanted to go to Man City because he thought that was his best chance of winning trophies, and he would only want to leave Leeds if it was to win trophies. The only thing is, if he'd have gone to somebody like Spurs, I don't even think he probably wouldn't start for Spurs. He would start for somebody who's a little bit lower down in that pecking order. He'd probably see a lot more game time for a team who's a little bit lower down that pecking order, but still in the sort of top 5 there or thereabouts. But they wouldn't be winning trophies as sort of almost guaranteed as Man City are, and that's what he wanted to do. Aronson here with the ball on the right-hand side, tries to play a ball down the line into Rodrigo, but John Stones is there to sweep things up. But Rodrigo's still chasing, and so is Aronson. Rodri now gets the ball. Rodri actually played centre-back in the World Cup for Spain, which was a weird position for me to sort of see him in, but I think he did really well there, other than obviously when they lost to on penalties. I think that was against Morocco, wasn't it? They lost on penalties. Just hope Rodrigo keeps it simple and stays in the City half and not drops deep. Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's been dropping deep that much so far, which I do prefer from him. I don't really like to see him drop too deep. We've talked about this before on the channel, where he just goes and creates a nuisance of himself in his own defensive areas. So I would like to see him stay a bit higher up. It does look a little bit like we might be playing more of a 4-3-3, which I've got to say, although we've conceded a few chances, hasn't been too bad so far in this game. It was always going to be hard to create chances because they're so solid. But I think we've done okay so far. We're 17 minutes in and we've not conceded. So, I mean, touch wood. I'm touching my desk, touch wood. Meslier to take the goal kick then. Bit of a battle there between Strauch and Stones off the goal kick, but it goes for a Leeds throw-in. Round about halfway inside the Man City half. Long throw by Strauch, but headed out by Stones, and then headed back to the keeper by Rodri. It's so weird seeing Leeds play again. It just feels like it's been so long since Leeds have played. Manuel Akanji carries the ball out here for Man City. It does look like Leeds are playing a 4-3-3, a pretty narrow 4-3-3 to be fair. When we've got the ball, it almost looks like we're sort of two narrow banks of three, trying to protect the defense. And then when we attack, we do seem to be going a little bit wider. So that, for me, that's promising that Marsch is looking to try and adapt his system. I wonder if our host got a last minute ticket. What do you mean by that? Rodri carrying the ball out now. I don't really know this Lewis kid. I'm guessing he's a youngster who's come through, but he hasn't really put a foot wrong so far, other than losing a little battle with Gnonto. Forshaw's just gone right through him. Yeah, Forshaw just goes through the back of him there. Doesn't get that anywhere near the ball. A lot of Leeds content creators have been showing Llorente has been given a 4-year contract. I can see the sense in it because Leeds are not a wealthy club. What do you mean, sorry? Have been showing surplus. Gundogan shoots from the edge of the box and way further out than the edge of the box. Yeah, I think Llorente needs to go. I was saying it before. I'm not happy with Llorente as a player at our club. I don't really want him. I don't think he's good enough. Oh, showing surprise, yeah. Yeah, I think it's almost like it's almost to maintain value, but then he's not got much value anymore, really, anyway, according to websites like Transfermarkt, which are generally pretty good at getting people's value, at getting people's market value. But for the sake of a couple of million quid, like 1 or 2 million quid, I don't know if it's worth paying the extra wages and giving him that contract extension. I don't think he's really earned it. For me, get this Max Verber in and then get rid of Llorente and bring Cresswell back in at the end of the season, and give Cresswell a bit more of a off the bench getting games role, and Hjelde as well. Hjelde I think has been really impressive when I've seen him. Kelvin about the 4-3-3 is positive. Yeah, I think the 4-3-3 that Man City play it, Liverpool play it, obviously in different ways, but I think there's a way that we can utilise this formation, because really the system stays the same. We can still... The thing is with the 4-3-3, right, the system stays pretty similar in that when we press every time a pass is made, we'll use that as a trigger to press when the ball's halfway between a player's pass and its target, and we'll still use those same triggers. We'll still play in the same way, trying to go directly towards goal in transition. The only difference is that in a 4-3-3, you've got two wingers, and that means that the fullbacks do not need to be as attacking. If you've got two wingers, the fullbacks can sit back a little bit, and the wingers will provide their own width. And then you've got a base of three midfielders behind them, where one can sit and two can actually help that attack. And then when we get counter-attacked, we've still got 5 players at the back, or at least 4, in a position where they can actually defend. So for me, I think it just does work a little bit better, especially for the way that Marsch wants to play. And he said that he's adaptive. The system stays the same, but the formation changes. And so I think this is a good little tweak that can be done to help Leeds not concede as many goals, really. I think it's working out so far in this game. I think it's been a lot better than it has been in previous games. I'm probably going to make a video on this as well, explaining all that in a bit more detail, because I do think it's a worthwhile tweak that we can make to try and be a little bit more solid and concede less goals. Nathan Ake with the ball out wide to Grealish. Grealish getting some boos because of all the throwing himself about antics that has been going on. Rodri passes it out to Ake again. Ake tries to play it down the line. Leeds players are trying to cover, and Haaland's against Cooper there, but Cooper's just managed to get the ball, and Leeds have managed to get out of danger here. Rocker carries it out, tries to pass it to Aronson, but it's not a great pass, and Rodri picks it up on the halfway line, gives it across the line to John Stones, and Man City have got possession once again, and I feel like I'm going to be saying that a few more times today. John Stones carrying the ball into the Leeds half here. It's as we expected, to be honest. The way that Man City are playing, they're pushing Ake up the pitch, trying to get those midfielders involved and trying to get Haaland in behind. But Leeds have done okay so far. Haaland was in behind once at the start on his own. Meslier made a really good save, which Schrauk then cleared off the line. But other than that, they haven't really managed to get Haaland in behind. So I think Leeds have defended okay here so far. I'm pretty happy with this system change. It almost seems like Lewis, who is supposed to be playing as right back, is almost tucking in as a midfielder, a little bit like what Zinchenko does for Arsenal, and what usually Cancelo does for Man City. But it seems like it's the right back this time, and he's going up a little bit and then tucking inside, and he's actually playing more on the ball as a sort of like another central midfielder. I would look at Llorente in midfield. He's the best footballing defender at the club and be more suited to defensive holder midfielders, backup for Tyler Adams. I don't know with Llorente. I think Llorente fools you into thinking he's a good ball playing defender, because he likes to just whack long balls into space. And granted, sometimes it comes off and you think what a cracking pass that was, but a lot of the time it doesn't. And I think he's too slow to play in that position. When you see how much ground Tyler Adams covers, this is just my opinion, of course, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. When you see how much ground Tyler Adams covers, I think that would be too much for Llorente to do. I don't think he's fast enough to get there, and I think he would get sort of beaten to the punch too many times for it to be an option that we should go for, really. I'm going to try and sit a little bit more centrally because I'm like barely on the camera here. I think Rob's saying I think Llorente offers more than he's given credit for. Personally, he gives us passing options and is generally very solid, but he has an absolute brain hemorrhage. Well, that's what I was talking about. So I give him credit for the times that he's been brilliant for us, because there is times where he's been excellent for us. Like I said before, namely when he played in that streak at the end of the first season in the Prem, where we basically just kept clean sheets and didn't lose against any of the top sides for that streak. But since then, he's had very solid games, and he's also had Brentford games where he's been absolutely woeful. And you just think, a lot of the time you think, what is he doing? And you shouldn't think that about your centre half in the Premier League. You shouldn't think, what the hell is he doing? And I think that happens far too often. I think he's a good, solid player. No, I take that back. I don't think he's a good, solid player. I think he can be a very good player, but I don't think he's solid enough. I don't think he's consistent enough to play as a Premier League centre-back, and I think that is when you get real problems, and he's a bit of a liability in that sense. I believe Manchester City haven't scored from open play in the Premier League for the last 4 games. They've lost to Brentford just 2 games before the World Cup. Just 2 games before the World Cup, and haven't lost 2 back-to-back games since 2018. Yeah, the thing is, I really do think that the sense... what's the phrase called? Oh, yeah, form goes out the window. I think the phrase form's gone out the window is never more applicable than now, because it's been like a month since we last played, or anyone last played in the Premier League. I think, especially as a team, as a unit, I do think it's like it's like playing a new season. I don't think past form can really come into it now. because like the absolute quality that they have is ridiculous. And so, yeah, I don't think form really comes into it at the moment, just because we've had so long off with the World Cup. Rob Bailey thinking that we will take something away from one of these next few games against more fancied sides. Yeah, I can see it, and then I can also see us going on a losing run. We're 50-50, aren't we, really, at the moment? It's hard to tell what we're going to do, and what we need is to put together a consistent run of form. If we could get a point out of this game, I'd be ecstatic. I don't see it. I think we've got more of a chance against Newcastle, especially, like I said at the start. They seem like, because they're second in the league, because they're in really good form. Obviously, I said form goes out the window, but do you know what I mean? They'll still have confidence from all the games that they've won. Grealish in the box, good block by Rasmus. Because of all the games that they've won to get them to the position they're in, they're going to be really confident. I think, especially at home at St James's, they're going to want to come out and attack us, and I think the fans are going to get on their backs if they don't. The clever thing to do from Eddie Howe would be to sit in, and would be to try and play on the break against Leeds, because that's how to beat us, really. But I feel like they may be a little bit too proud to do that, and then comes the issue where they're going to play on the attack, and that's where they've sort of play into our hands, really. De Bruyne's just took a sort of driven corner, it's gone straight into Mellier's hands. Sorry, I've just had a Man United fan follow me on Twitter, and I just had to stop myself from throwing up. Cold night in Yorkshire. City are overwhelming favourites. Half their squad is returning from the bright lights of the World Cup. If they're not 100%, we could pinch something. We could pinch something, and we actually have done before against Man City, so there's sort of precedent for it. But I don't know. I just can't see it. I think with Tyler Adams, we stood more of a chance, but I just think Tyler Adams is so good that Haaland is in, and Mellier's blocked it with his knees, and Strauch has cleared. Meslier is some keeper, you know. Excellent save. He was straight off his line soon as the ball came, and then he was just spread himself and got there. Cooper does really well as well there to try and put Haaland off, and Meslier saves with his knees. For such a young goalkeeper, he does so well in those one-on-one situations. Michael, if Leeds can hang in and keep it tight and frustrate Man City, City will need to push forward for a win to keep within touch and distance of Arsenal and Newcastle. Yeah, although City have games in hand against Arsenal and Newcastle, they will psychologically look at the table and see that they still are quite a few points behind Arsenal. I think it's up to like 8 points now behind Arsenal. I think they'll remain calm, because I think they've got the experience of winning Premier Leagues before, as the corner goes in and is cleared by Rodrigo. Mahrez out to Lewis. Lewis tries to chip it in, and it goes straight to Gundogan, but then goes out for another corner. Yeah, I can't tell, really, because I feel like City have got that experience where they've won so many Premier Leagues that they know what to do, and they know to stay calm in these situations. They've been in a points deficit before. They know how to come back. But also, they could be looking at that. Grealish has just skied it from about 3 yards after an excellent ball into the box, I think from Mahrez. Let's have a look. Yeah, ball comes in from Mahrez on his left foot, curls right round to the back post. Rasmus can't get there, and Grealish just skies it over the bar. That is a gilt-edged opportunity for Grealish. That should be in the back of the net, and it should be 1-0 to Man City. But, good for us, it's not. Fleece can hang it, yeah. So, the longer City go without a goal, the more upset is on the cards. Yeah, we could nick something late on, but I feel like I am a little bit pessimistic about this one just because of how good they are. Gnonto coming down the left-hand side here. Gnonto just entering the box now, trying to get the ball across, and it's gone straight into a pile of Man City players, but it's come back out to Gnonto himself. Recycles it back to Pascal Strauch, back to Forshaw. Forshaw into Rocker. Now Rocker back out to Gnonto again. Running at Stones, trying to get into the box. And Leeds have won a throw-in just outside the box. Nyonto looks like he's having a ball out there. He looks like he's having fun, and he's going at the players just like he loves doing. Step overs, cutting inside and outside, trying to twist defenders inside and out, and he's done well there. Pascal Struijk now with the throw-in then. I think he's probably going to try and get this one maybe into the box. He looks like he's taking a little bit of a step back for a long throw. It's gone to a long throw into the box. Nyonto, and the little flick down from Rodrigo to Nyonto is skied over the bar. But it's better from Leeds. Looks like we're actually trying to create something there, so I'm all happy with that. Mamala Kanji now with the ball. That was a bit better from Leeds, having a little bit of an attack. At least we've shown that we can try and get into the box and have a couple of shots. But it needs to be better than that if it's going to beat that Man City defence, and especially Ederson in goal. Kanji plays the ball out wide. De Bruyne's got it. De Bruyne tries to pass it inside, but Pascal Struijk's cut it out well. Rodri tries to switch the play out to Grealish, but Rasmus has won it off him, and it's gone for a throw-in on the far side. If you haven't liked the stream already, I'd be massively appreciate it if you could like the stream to get out there to more people, and hit that sub button as well, as it really, really helps me out. Leeds 0, Man City 0 at the moment at Elland Road. We've done well holding on for this long, and they haven't created a massive amount of chances. The best one, though, was probably that one for Grealish there, where he really should have put it in. And then there's a couple where Mellier's made really good saves against Haaland, who's been in behind. Ball goes out wide to Mahrez here. It's a slow ball, so Struijk's able to catch up a little bit. Ball goes into the box to Gundogan, and Meslier makes another good save. Struijk's clearance, though, goes straight up in the air, and De Bruyne's little flicked header goes straight into Mellier's gloves. Good little save there by Meslier, again coming out and closing down that space. He's wise beyond his years for a goalkeeper. He knows when to come, when to stay. He's done very well so far in this game, Meslier. Otherwise, it could be 2-0. Rasmus with the throw-in then, right by the technical areas. Passes it back to Robin Koch, who looks for an option. Ends up dinking it down the line and putting it straight out of play, so it's going to be a throw-in to Man City by the technical areas. Ederson with the ball here. Just 10 minutes to go then before the half-time whistle. I wonder what... Oh, yeah. I just thought that... You remember how much added time there was in the World Cup? There was like 10, 15 minutes on some games. And it was because they were actually properly adding on the time. I wonder if they're going to take that into the Premier League. If they do, I don't think it'll be this season. But it could be... We could start seeing that next season of people like Wolves and Villa coming to Elland Road and wasting like 20 minutes and then actually getting added on at the end of a game. Properly. Grealish in the box with it. De Bruyne slipped Grealish in down the left there. Grealish tried to curl one past Meslier, but Rasmus was able to block it well there. Rasmus has done well against Grealish so far. Ball out wide with De Bruyne, looking to get it in the box. Whips it in. Goes straight to Pascal Struijk, who clears all the way to Mamala Kanji on the halfway line. If Leeds can just get to half-time here, we have a little bit more of a chance in that second half to try and nick something. Excellent ball out to the left-hand side. De Bruyne has got the ball and Sam Greenwood rins it off him excellently and then tries to play a ball. And it goes straight to the halfway line. No one's there. Leeds are being strongly linked to Chris Wood. I don't think Chris Wood is a goer now. I think there was links a little bit earlier in December, but I think they've been poo-pooed now by Chris Wood himself, saying that he's happy at Newcastle and he's going to stay there. So I don't know if he just wouldn't say anything at all if he wasn't going to, if he was going to stay at. If he just wouldn't stay anything at all if he was going to come to Leeds. So I don't think that one's going to happen. It does seem like we're going to go for a centre-back and a left-back and no striker or any other position in the January window. So it'll be interesting to see who that left-back is, and I don't think it'll solve all our problems. But this 4-3-3 system seems a little bit better at blocking them from scoring down those switch plays. But Leeds have got the ball here. Sam Greenwood just taking it over the halfway line, looking for an option. Plays it inside. Mark Rocker with the ball. Goes out to Pascal Struijk, who's got Gnonto in support. Gnonto on the left-hand side up against Lewis. Gnonto tries to pull it back into the box, but Aronson wasn't on his toes for it. He was on his heels a little bit there. And I feel like that often happens with Aronson. He sort of doesn't sniff out where he needs to be to score a goal. And it's a lot of the passes that are sort of cut back to him in the box don't really go anywhere near him because he's stopped and he's stayed still. So maybe he needs to try and perfect that a little bit more. But I don't know if that's something you can really teach, to be honest. Some players just have that sort of poacher's ability to know exactly where to stand in the box. And the ball just drops to them because they know exactly where to stand. And people call it lazy, and people say that it's not sort of a skill, it's just goal poaching. But there is an art to knowing exactly where to stand and the ball dropping to you. Because it's no coincidence that people like Gary Lineker scored so many goals. He always just knew exactly where to stand, where to be. And you see it a lot now with elite strikers. Everybody's running into the box and the striker will just stop and stand still because everybody else is running and they're the only ones who stopped and stood still. The ball comes to them and they score a goal. And so I think Brendan Aronson is trying to replicate that a little bit, but a lot of the time the ball doesn't come to him, so I don't know if it's an issue with the quality or with him not really knowing where to stand. De Bruyne with a free kick into the box. He's whipped it low, and Grealish has spooned it right over the bar. Grealish is having an absolute stinker in this game. Rasmus has been all over him when he's tried to take him on. And his actual shots, he's just been spooning them over the bar. It's been terrible. I can see him doing the running. I cannot see him doing the running that Jesse's press demands yet. I don't think Chris Wood's a no-go. I think it won't be him. It'll be someone a little bit more dynamic, someone a little bit quicker and sharper on his feet. With a bit more of a fitness level as well. I think Chris Wood's a good poacher, like we were talking about there, but I don't really think he fits within this system at Leeds. Manuel Akanji now with the ball. 5 minutes to go till half time. Or 4 minutes and a little bit. Little flick around the corner from Mahrez, but Struijk's able to get there. Rocker's twisting in and out of trouble, but he's managed to get the ball to Cooper. Forshaw into Gnonto and then back to Cooper again. Leeds are just trying to feel their way into this game, trying to get a little bit of an opening. Meslier hits the ball a little bit longer this time towards Aronson, but Stones clears easily. Leeds, though, retain possession after a tackle on Mahrez. Aronson with the ball. Rodri all over his back, and Leeds are going to win a free kick just on the halfway line here. Yeah, overall, quite a good half for Leeds. I'm pretty happy with this, the way it's going. But obviously it's one of those, isn't it, where if we don't manage to nick a goal, it becomes increasingly likely that they are going to nick one. Ball into the box there, and Rodrigo manages to just keep it in. Oh, no, apparently he doesn't. Linesman's blown for it. Is it a throw-in or a corner? I think it's a goal kick, actually. Edison to take it then. Yeah, I think there's a bit of confusion there. After a ball into the box, Rodrigo tried to keep it in, but it didn't quite stay in, and then there was a bit of confusion on whether it was a corner or a goal kick. Excuse me. Rodri just bringing it out then. 3 minutes to go till half-time. Come on, let's hold on to this. Man City retaining possession really well, as they always do. Excellent weak foot pass out to Grealish by De Bruyne. Grealish with an excellent ball into the box, and Mahrez tried to get his volley on the end of it and just couldn't quite get there. That is another really, really, really good chance for Man City to score, and they haven't taken it. I would loan out Cody Drama. Cresswell needs a little loan. If Verba comes in, I would keep... Thing is, with Cresswell's right-footed, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Cresswell is right-footed. So as right-footed and left-footed centre backs, I can't even speak. You've almost got to think about it as a completely separate position. So Cresswell and Verber aren't really even in the same position. Verber's left-footed. He might probably even play left back. So to me, I don't think it's really even the same position. Greenwood, Joffrey and Yelder, I would keep. Click might go. But that's why Leeds were looking at Mateus Cunha as well. But that's obviously ended up not happening because he's going to go to Wolves now. So it remains to be seen. What I think that'll be a summer jobby to try and get another attacking midfielder in place of Clicky. Rob saying Forshaw is very much like Bamford. He's never let us down, but he's always broken. Yeah, I think Forshaw is a very bog standard. I think Forshaw is a very bog standard Premier League midfielder. I think he's solid. He does the right thing most of the time, but he's not really. Lewis is trying to get into the box here, and Cox managed to get it away. I just don't think Forshaw's not quick enough. He's not agile enough. I think he's a solid midfielder for the Championship, but I don't think he's good enough really for the Premier League. He doesn't ever do anything that's Rico Lewis coming into the box. Grealish has just missed another absolute sitter. Excellent flick round the corner from De Bruyne, which is ridiculous play. Then Rico Lewis comes into the box, gives it to Grealish, and Grealish again just skies it over the bar. What is wrong with him? I think he might get subbed off, Grealish, because any other Man City player gets those chances, they score them. Yeah, it's just... I don't know how Grealish has missed all those chances. That's ridiculous. That's what £100 million gets you. Leeds have had 1 attempt, 0 on target. Man City have had 14 attempts, 3 on target. I think that just shows the difference, doesn't it? Although, we have said that before and we've nicked a goal, so... Yeah, Grealish cost 100 million, just like I was saying. He cost 100 mil and he's missing sitters on sitters. De Bruyne passes it across to Rodri. Rodri into Mahrez. Great save by Meslier, but it's come straight back out to Rodri. 1-0 to Man City. Right on the stroke of half-time, Man City has scored. I mean, I hate to say I told you so, but I knew this was going to happen. We're just not good enough to beat Man City. We're good enough to beat pretty much anybody else, which we've shown in the games that we have played against those top teams. But City, I think, is a bridge too far. Yeah, Haaland was offside, but he wasn't involved in the play. He didn't get the ball or anything. He didn't even affect the play, so... Rodri just slots it under Meslier off the rebound because no Leeds players were alive enough then. That's gutting, that. That is gutting because of how well we've kept them out. I don't think the half-time whistle's gone quite yet. Leeds are trying to attack. There goes the half-time whistle then. 1-0 to Man City at half-time. Kind of what we expected, really. Like I said, I think they are just too good for us. I think we've defended okay, but we have given away... We've given away enough chances to be losing 4 or 5-0. But we were riding our luck, and we were going to get into half-time at 0-0. And obviously, we've just conceded that right at the end, which is really, really disappointing for us. I knew it was going to happen, but it's just disappointing because I think we defended... I say that. I think our issue with the ball being switched hasn't been exploited as much as I thought it was going to be, because I think we're playing a new system, that 4-3-3. I think that is helping out in that department. But simply from an organisational perspective, we aren't good enough if we keep conceding this many chances. Grealish has had 3 chances that he should have scored, all sitters. He really, really should have scored. All absolute sitters, so that's could have been 3-0. Haaland's had 2 1-on-1s with Melia. He's done really well, so that's another 2. And then obviously the one they scored. So it genuinely could be between 4 and 6-0 at half time. And you take it with a pinch of salt because it's against Man City, but it's still not good enough, really, is it, to be conceding that amount of goals. Amount of chances against a team that are this good, because they will just punish you. They will just punish you, and obviously they have done towards the end of the half there. And we've gone in at half time losing 1-0. I am just going to quickly go for a half time toilet break, and I shall be back in a second. Don't go anywhere. More first half analysis when I come back. And we are back. What's been said at half time? This is like a training game. How many times are we going to win the ball and give it back? Yeah, that's been a big issue for me over the last season or two. We just give the ball away so many times. We don't have enough quality on the ball to retain possession. Now, Man City are an excellent team at winning the ball back, so that's going to play into it. But we still shouldn't be giving the ball away in such stupid positions, really. They're going to go for the Hollywood pass player and then rather than playing the obvious ball. Yeah, it's because they're so panicked on trying to go forward as fast as possible. Sometimes you just need to keep the ball a little bit. But yeah, Grealish in that first half, I can't believe how many chances he's missed. Anybody else got any other thoughts on the first half that we can discuss? Put them in the comments down below, or in the chat, sorry, rather down below, and we'll discuss those as well. I mean, they have got that X factor in De Bruyne, which obviously makes a massive difference. With his ability to pass the ball is ridiculous. But we shouldn't be giving away the amount of opportunities that we've given away. It's ridiculous. It stems from giving the ball away in midfield and attacking areas too cheaply. And then when we do, our organisation at the back is not great. It really isn't great, our organisation at the back. They get in far too often, far too easily. Yeah, they're just talking about Haaland's first chance, where within a minute he's through on goal and Melia's having to make an excellent save. It's so disappointing to see that. So we're just watching the analysis of Haaland's goal now. He pulls back towards the halfway line to shift Cooper, and then once he does, he's then gone past Cooper, and a one little ball into him from Nathan Ake, and he's in, and Melia makes the save. It's as if our players are drawn too easily to the players now. It's easy to be drawn to somebody like Haaland. You know how good he is, so you think, oh my god, it's Haaland, I've got to mark him, I've got to mark him, I've got to mark him. But sometimes we get sucked in by him, and then he goes. He sucks you in and then he runs past you. And Cooper, certainly, and Koch are not fast enough to keep up with him. So the strides he takes, he's just going to go past our defenders. Gabby Logan saying whether Leeds was stopping Man City playing well. We defended okay in the first sort of 20 minutes, but after that, we conceded all those chances, and I don't think we did stop them playing well. I think they did play well. It's just that they would get unlucky with their actual chances. Second half hasn't started. I was just making sure the timer was ready. Pity Leeds didn't get Gakpo in the summer. They look certain we might have just got him for over 30 million. I am not sure Leeds pushed hard enough the World Cup. It increases valuation off to live. It didn't increase his valuation much though, did it, on Gakpo? I think he only went for 37 million in the end, maybe with some add-ons. But I mean, Leeds were looking at 35 million when we were going to buy him, so it's not that much. It's not that much difference to what we were actually going to pay, but we should have done it at the time because there was never going to be any chance after we missed out on him in the summer. But we should have had more backup options than we did for Cody Gakpo. And once we didn't get him, we went to Bamba Dieng, who obviously that fell through, and we got Gnonto. And I mean, hopefully that's a blessing in disguise because Gnonto has been a bit of a revelation. I really like the way he plays, but I think he's still raw and he's not ready for the Premier League fully yet. I think he's excellent, but I don't think he's going to score us 10 goals a season, which is what we really need in an attacker. Yeah, he didn't want to come as well. I think it was Louis van Gaal or Van Gaal got in his ear a little bit. And told him not to go to Leeds. But I mean, we had signed the other top scorer, one of the other top scorers and creators in the Eredivisie in Sinisterra as well. So we've still got him to come back, which, like I said at the start of the stream, I think I was really forgetting about as well, is that Sinisterra is still not been playing for us. And when he's back, he offers us something completely different, an extra bit of quality. I think Sinisterra could be excellent. Nader Manua just saying how Jack Grealish is getting in the right situations to score goals in the right positions, which, yeah, but you've got to score those chances. It's unforgivable that a player can cost £100 million in an attacking position and not score those chances. Sinisterra's quality for me is a must for our team. Definitely, Sinisterra, when he's fit, and if he's fit, he goes straight into this team because I think he's, from what I've seen of him, he's a top class player, and he's basically Rafinha 2.0. Now, he may not reach the heights that he hopefully stays a little bit longer than Rafinha did, but Sinisterra has got it in him to have that bit of South American flair, to score a couple of goals, to get a lot of assists. Hopefully, Sinisterra comes into his own in the latter stages of this season. But yeah, at the moment, it looks like we're missing that cutting edge. Always had checkered injury with Rob saying he's always had checkered injury. I can't speak today. Checkered injury history going back to Feyenoord. Yeah. I think you find most players have got that injury history now, haven't they, really? And most players are struggling to stay fit, and it's rare that you find somebody who's of top quality and of top fitness. You get those journeymen, like before he was actually injured, like Stuart Dallas, who will just play even through injuries, obviously before he broke his leg. but then they don't have that total star quality, do they, as well? Problem is if you're struggling to at the bottom, players won't want to risk coming. Yeah, Calamuendo, CDK, Dieng, Gakpo all turned down Leeds. Yeah, but then it's difficult, isn't it? Because we know that Leeds is a massive club, but to a foreign player looking at Leeds, they're just a newly promoted side, really, in the last couple of years. And over the last couple of years, it's looked like we could have gone down. Looking at that objectively, you're like, well, why would you want to come to Leeds when you could go to a club that's a little bit more secure in their division and could qualify for Europe if we're trying to sign that quality of player? So we've got to try and offer them something by playing exciting football. That's all we can really do. But it's difficult because if you play exciting football, you can also completely go the opposite direction, like we did for our last stint under Bielsa before he went. It's so hard to attract those players. Freddie Mac saying, why is our passing so inaccurate? I think a lot of the time we are trying really we're trying Hollywood passes and we're trying to play the ball into places it doesn't need to be. Jesse is so intent on us going directly towards goal as fast as possible, which I get is his philosophy, but a lot of the time our players aren't good enough to find those passes and we end up giving the ball away and getting counter-attacked. So yes, do that sometimes, but I also feel like there's other times where you think, right, this opportunity is not good enough, and we should be feeling like this opportunity is not good enough to try and risk those passes, so let's keep the ball a little bit and then attack. So yeah, it's I think that's the reason really why we've been giving the ball away so much. The massive club, I agree, but the board are not invested enough. Yeah, and that's why Radrizzani said that he'd like to give it to somebody who could invest more, which hopefully happens, and then we could actually get some more players in the door. We don't need a load of players in the door, but we need quality ones. Wayne Mace, the game management at that stage of the game should have been see the half out. Yeah, it should have been really. De Bruyne he's the X factor, isn't he? He does stuff that you think, how the hell's he done that? And he did an excellent pass in the build up to that goal. But we should be tight. We should be a little bit more tight at the back, really, in those situations, and we should have seen the half out. On the bright side, it stands out. As it stands, the result will have little impact on our position in the ladder. Yeah. Yeah, it won't really affect our position in the table, and we kind of expect... There's no such thing as a free hit, but we expected to lose this because they're just so good, aren't they, Man City? So it's just one of those situations where we're going to have to try and get something in the second half, but I find it unlikely now. I found it unlikely anyway. My camera looks like it's getting a little bit hot, so I'm just going to open my window a little bit more. 1 second. bloody muted again, aren't I? My camera likes to overheat, so if the stream goes black and says, you'll still see this border around me, but if it goes black and it says that the system is overheating, that is just my camera, and I do have a backup web camera which won't be as good quality, but will be fine for the stream. So just bear with me if it goes black. The stream's not gone, it's just my camera playing up. For some reason it likes to do this. But I've opened the window now in that bloody depth of December, so it should be cold enough to try and cool it down. Second half is underway at Elland Road now. There's been a few more things in the chat now. If Melee just clearing the ball there. If you look at our Newcastle now with their investment, they are attracting plot players where that they weren't able to do before. Leeds really need to just survive, but it'll be a close season. Yeah, I feel like it is going to be a close season again, but I feel like we could, I don't know, I feel like we pick up enough points consistently enough to be like 12th to 14th. I think that was always going to be the position that I predicted at the start of the season, 12th to 14th. I think I said 13th in my Premier League predictions. So I feel like we are going to survive because we have been picking up enough points from our games. Aronson's done really well to squeeze the ball through there. Greenwood's now passing it into Rodrigo. The only problem is Rodrigo's looked up and there's nobody in the box. He's on the left-hand side. He passes it back to Forshaw, into Aronson, but it's cleared by Rodri and it's gone right through everyone all the way to ELLAND, the French goalie for Leeds. I keep going on about this, but the last two January transfer windows, yeah, they've been terrible, and I think they should have learned from that, and we should be bringing in a left-back. And let me just centralise myself a little bit more. There's footage of Kyle Walker just looking into a camera on the touchline that's like above his head. He's just like this close. Yeah, I hope we've learned from the last January transfer windows, and I hope that means that we can get in some players in those windows to actually improve our squad, because we haven't in the last couple of windows. Bielsa was right though. The January transfer window is a great chance to sign a dud who wants to let a quality player go in January. Yeah, but some teams like Salzburg, he's been their starting left back all season, but they're gonna win the league anyway, aren't they? They always do now, so it's like, well, they can afford to let people go. If Leeds can keep the scoreline down as long as it's now -5, whereas the rivals around Leeds have conceded into double figures, and others are on -7 or 8. Yeah, hopefully the goal difference could be a big thing actually, because last season our goal difference was so bad that if we'd have drawn level on points with some of those other teams, then we would have gone down. So our goal difference needs to be a lot better this season to try and avoid that same situation, because we could have been a little bit more secure last season if we'd have had a better goal difference. As good as Nonto is with the ball at his feet, he's not good at winning anything in the air. Yeah, that's true, but then you can't have every player be great at winning the ball in the air, can you? Really, like some guys are just going to be small, and Nonto is one of them. He's pretty stocky though, to be fair. He's pretty thick set, so I think he does get his body in and about and try and win balls back. So. Ball into the box to Ake. Ake chips it up to the back post, but Melee is able to catch pretty easily. Leeds are a point better off than last season. Was that after 14 games? Because we obviously have played less games than everybody around us. Leeds try to play a long ball through, but it just goes to a Man City player there. Yeah, so that's after the same amount of games. Yeah, it's difficult to say whether that's gonna mean that we're gonna have the same season or what. It's hard to really predict, isn't it now? Especially considering how good we've been against in some games and how bad we've been in other games. we've actually been both in games as well. Against Bournemouth, we were terrible and excellent at the same time, and it's like, it's thrilling, but it's not what I want to see. I want to see us nice and compact, not nice and compact because that's a bit boring football, but at least nice and secure, and that we win by a couple of goals in some games. Mahrez against Cooper. Cooper's done an excellent challenge, and the ball's gone out to Gnonto. Gnonto's been tripped there by Riyad Mahrez. I'm just getting a webcam ready just in case my thing dies, so I've got an extra webcam ready just in case the camera decides to overheat, because it's still got the little overheating symbol on it. Rodri clears a long ball from Leeds, goes to Strauch though. Strauch manages to keep the ball and give it back to Cooper. Cooper into Koch, but it's been completely dispossessed. He wasn't even looking. Grealish has got the ball. It's going to be 2-0. Haaland scored. 2-0. Terrible from Leeds. Terrible from Robin Koch. And he's not really celebrated, so fair play to him. And his dad's not really celebrating either. That's a joke. That is a joke. Cooper passes it to Koch. Koch doesn't even look, and Grealish just comes and takes it off him. I mean, Cooper's just as at fault. Cooper did not look, and then... Cooper, when he passed it to Haaland, when he passed it to Haaland, should have looked up to see that if there was a player coming. Oh, sorry, he passed it to Grealish. That doesn't work. When he passed it to Grealish by accident, he should have looked to see that there was someone coming. He didn't look. Then Robin Koch didn't look. Taken right off the toes. You can't do that against Man City. They're always going to score. I'm speechless at that. I'm fuming because we talked about giving chances away and we talked about giving chances away and not being good enough in defence and not being well organised enough. That's all fair enough, but when you give away goals like that against Man City, you never stood a chance if you're going to give away goals like that. Like, what are we doing? How can we possibly think that that's... Well, we don't think that's okay. Obviously, they don't think that that's okay, but it's the lapses in concentration for me. You're professional footballers. You can't afford to have a lapse in concentration like that. You just can't. It's not... It is not what a Premier League footballer should be doing. It's... I'm speechless at that. And now we're sort of coasting to a 2 or 3-0 defeat. And although I expected that before the game, I kind of wanted the goal difference to be kept down. Which at the moment it's not too horrendous, but I can see them scoring more if they're 2-0 up just inside the second half. I think Haaland didn't really celebrate the goal much. Obviously, like I said at the start, because he's a Leeds fan and his dad's Leeds as well. But yeah, I'm gutted at that. I don't know why we just don't concentrate. We just don't look up. It's so disappointing. Leeds have still got the ball here. Gnonto does really well, comes inside, takes on a few players. Oh, that would have been excellent from him. The ball's deflected from the shot. It's gone out to Rasmus Christensen as a left-footed shot from the edge of the box, but it's gone at a Man City defender, and Man City are on the counter-attack again, trying to play a ball into De Bruyne. but it's headed back to Meslier. And Leeds have got the ball back again. That was a lot more promising. Gnonto cut inside there, had a shot, came to Rasmus, and Rasmus had a good, powerful left foot shot as well, but both blocked. But showing a bit of initiative, Gnonto, running at a player, interlinking with Brendan Aronson. Brendan Aronson with the ball, and he whacks it over the bar. Brendan Aronson just needs to get his head over the ball. The amount of chances he skies. Just keep the ball down. You don't need to hit it that hard. You can try and find the corners, and then there's the deflections there as well. Cooper should have knocked the ball down the line. Yeah. He should have knocked the ball down the line. And it's simple stuff like that. But he just didn't do it. Rocker with a foul on Jack Grealish there, and Man City with the possession back again. But Leeds already in this first 10 minutes have showed a lot more attacking intent than they did in that entire first half. And whilst obviously we were trying to sit in a little bit in the first half and not concede, we've left it a bit late to try and attack and score a goal. Gnonto and Aronson have linked up well and had good little interplay. Aronson had a little bit of a nutmeg on Rodri and then a shot then as well, which was more promising. But then he skied it over the bar, so he just needs to have that little extra bit of composure and just hit the target. That's all you can ask for. Just hit the target. Ah, Strauch. Bloody Strauch. We've got to try something now. Let me just check. I actually don't know who's on the bench tonight because obviously we've had injuries and stuff. Let's have a little look at the Leeds United lineup for this game. Who is on the bench? Firpo, Ayling and Llorente, JB, Click, Somerville, Harrison, Gelhardt. Somerville maybe to come on. He's done a lot in recent games, but I don't know if it's even worth risking him getting injured. Christensen tried to play a ball into the box there, but it was defended well by Man City. Mahrez has just skinned about 3 Leeds players and kept the ball. I know that we're all indebted to Cooper as part of the promotion team, but he's not Premier League quality. It's like what I was talking about with Llorente. He can be excellent and he can be really solid, but some of the things he does, I'm like, well, that's just not good enough. Like it's just a lapse of concentration again and again, and you think, well, why are you doing that? Surely you've got the experience now and the knowledge and the know-how to not make mistakes like that, but yet he does it fairly regularly. And so Strauch at centre-back, Vober at left-back, Koch at centre-back and Rasmus at right-back seems like a lot more of a solid back four to me. Unless they play Vober at actual left centre-back and Strauch at left-back. Either way seems like it's a lot more solid to me. I think Cooper's often got a pass like that in him. Rocker takes a long free kick then into the box. It's won by Cooper, but it's really, really tame and actually bounces before it goes into the gloves of Ederson in the Manchester City goal. So it's 2-0 here, 58 minutes in. I'm really disappointed in the way that things have worked out here. I think Leeds could have defended a lot better, even if it is Man City. If Oba comes in, I could see him taking the left-back spot with Pascal moving to the centre and Cooper dropping to the bench. Yeah, that's what I want, really, I think. That's kind of what I want. I think I said in a video the other day that Cooper's sort of needs to be slowly phased out because he's a good captain. He's a great captain. He seems like a really good bloke as well. But I think his time is coming to an end. I don't think he's good enough anymore for the level that we want to be at. but I don't want to see him go completely straight away. I would like to see him sort of slowly phased out towards the end of the season for Struijk to start. Gundogan, and he's just gone over the bar. For Struijk to come into that position and sort of claim that for his own, because he's getting to that age where he needs to be in his starting position that he wants to play every week. And then you bring in that Maximilian Vober, who's only 24 as well, at left back. I think that's more solid. I think that's a lot more solid. Yeah, Tyler Adams could be a future captain. I think he'd be excellent, and I definitely think we have missed him tonight as well. I think Forshaw doesn't. When you watch Forshaw, he doesn't do anything that's. Just watching a corner come in here from Man City. When you watch Forshaw, he doesn't do anything horrendously wrong. He doesn't really do anything wrong at all, to be honest. But he's just not. He's just nowhere near as good as Tyler Adams. He just doesn't have that pace, that nippiness, that desire to win the ball. You watch him and nothing really happens. He doesn't do anything particularly wrong, but he doesn't do anything particularly great either. Whereas Tyler Adams, you're like, oh, good challenge. 30 seconds later, good challenge. He's everywhere. You think he's excellent. But Forshaw, nothing against him, but I just don't think he does anything particularly to warrant his position, which obviously he hasn't. It's because Tyler Adams is injured, but not injured, sorry, on a suspension from that red card. It's just a bit disappointing to not have him in the team, because I think we really do miss him. I think we've got a lot of players not quite good enough. Yeah, we do. I do think we've got a lot of players not quite good enough, and you can see it in their body language sometimes when they lose the ball. You think, why have I just lost that again? I mean, I like Sam Greenwood, but ideally he doesn't start. Like, he's a long way away from being a starter for me if we've got a fully fit squad. I know I like Gnonto, but I think you want Sinisterra starting in one of those positions on the wing. Aronson, there's a lot of signs of promising things from Aronson, but he's not shown it properly so far. Gnonto wins a good free kick in a dangerous position there, and a Manchester City player, Rico Lewis, gets a yellow card. But yeah, I just do think that Leeds, they need a few extra players with that little bit of extra quality, and maybe that comes in Vober at left back, and then we've got a lot more solid of a defence, and then in a striker as well who can actually put the ball in the back of the net. And I think you have Sinisterra and Aronson on each wing, or you have Somerville and Gnonto as well in backup. I think with an extra striker and another couple of defenders, we do seem like we're a lot more solid as a team. We're a lot more, our talent is spread more evenly across the team, and then a few players like Forshaw maybe on the way out. And it sounds harsh because he was with us through, not just him, Cooper as well. A lot of them were with us through promotion and all these times, but there does come a time where you need to move on to that sort of next level of Premier League football, and if you want to, you have to sort of get rid of a few of those stalwarts of your club. Gnonto at this player is an impact player. Yeah, I think he'd be great as an impact sub, and Aronson does need to step up a little bit. I think he's shown signs. He's skipped past players and he's done some excellent stuff, but yeah, Greenwood takes the free kick and straight into the wall. I don't know why Greenwood fancies himself as a free kick taker. I really don't. I've never seen a good free kick from him. I don't know if he's ever taken. He must have taken some good ones in the under-23s when it was the under-23s or something, because I've never seen him take a decent free kick. When he's took them, they've always just been skied. We don't really have a set-piece taker anymore either, do we? Now that we've lost Rafinha. De Bruyne trying to get into the box, pass it to Haaland. Haaland into Grealish. Grealish across the box, back to Haaland. Another goal for Haaland. I mean, we knew it was going to happen. Haaland not really celebrating again. Fair play to him. I like Haaland even more now. I already liked him over Mbappe, but I like him even more now because he's not celebrating against Leeds. He's not even smiling. He's happy that he scored a goal. Fair play, he scored a goal for his club. But that's 3-0. Excellent ball from De Bruyne. Passes it to Grealish, then Grealish inside to Haaland, who just pokes it in with a poacher's finish. Gets a hand to it. It's so disappointing to watch it because you can see it happening before your eyes with the defending. Haaland passes the ball to Grealish and then just sort of moves a couple of steps to his right. And the two Leeds defenders are drawn straight to Grealish, and there's nobody there to track Haaland. Rasmus Christensen's gone off, who I think has probably been one of our better players. And Ayling has come on in that right back spot. I think that's pretty much a like for like change there. But I don't know. I'm really disappointed in some of the defending that I've seen tonight. Like, we've gone 4 at the back. We already were 4 at the back. We've gone 4-3-3, which I think has helped us in some ways. But there's still fundamental issues that our players don't know how to defend. It looks like Click's come on as well, by the way. I don't know who Click came on for, but they didn't really say. Yeah, Drama could be a good shout to get a bit of game time, but then Ayling's a bit more of a senior player, and if he's not getting any game time, he'll probably be getting a bit aggy as well over that. Going to be a free kick into the box now from Leeds. Delivery by Sam Greenwood. Oh, Matt Rocker, it looks like. And the free kick's going to be taken again because Gundogan, it looks like, has been knocked over. Oh, I think Cooper just tried to get past his man, and well, hopefully that gives him a good chance to take that free kick again, because the delivery was not great at all. Haaland just having a little hug with Gnonto. Joao Cancelo is going to come on as well for Manchester City. I don't know who for at the moment, but I don't even know who Click came on for. Oh, Forshaw. It's just come up now on the screen saying it was Forshaw that came off. Ball curled into the box by Matt Rocker, and Edison has to tip it over the bar. They're not great deliveries like that. That was almost difficult for Edison to deliver, because to catch... I can't speak today. To deal with, because it wasn't to any players. It was just sort of was floating towards the back post, and Edison felt he had to do something with it, but put it on someone's head for once. Greenwood to take the corner then. First man, I reckon. Let's put me mortgage on it. Oh, first man. It's flicked. The first man has flicked it over everyone, and Luke Ayling's got the ball for a corner, maybe. Nah, it's been given as a goal kick. Well, 23 minutes left then in this one. That was definitely a corner. Came off the back of Akanji's head. It should have been a Leeds corner, but has been given to Man City. Rico Lewis is going to be coming off. And it looks like Joao Cancelo is going to be coming on. It looks like Joao Cancelo might be coming on in his preferred position of right back, which is very rare. Yeah, I mean, give Drama a little bit of a chance maybe, but I don't know whether he's already on his way out or what, or they feel like he's going to get a lot of game time if he goes out on loan, or don't know. It's weird, isn't it? Like, at 3-0 down, like, what's the point in even making tactical substitutions against Man City? I know maybe to save goal difference or whatever, but you just like, you're not going to come back, are we? So you may as well give people a chance, like give JB a chance to play against Man City in the first team in the Prem, because he obviously never really got much of a chance to play in their first team before we signed him. But it looks like Joffy's actually going to be the one that's warming up for Leeds and is going to come on. Aronson manages to get the ball to Gnonto. Gnonto tries to pass it inside, but Cancelo intercepts, and Strap wins it back though. Gnonto again tries to play it into Aronson, but the ball's cut out again by Cancelo. Strap don't foul. Leeds have managed to go in the ball back again. Man City can't get out of their little corner here, but they seem like they might be about to. Oh no, Rocker's done really well. Rocker with the ball into the box then. Dinked over everyone, and Rodrigo can't get anywhere near it. Edison's just thrown it to the halfway line where Grealish has been released, and now he's going to try and get the ball into, I'm assuming, Haaland's in the middle. Click's fouled him. And Click's won a yellow card. I think I really like Click because he's one of our players with a bit more personality, and obviously he got promoted. He got us promoted. He had that streak of a ridiculous amount of games where he got that streak of a ridiculous amount of games where he stayed in the team. But I feel like it's also the end for him. Why is Gnonto having a fight with Grealish? To tell you what, Gnonto, with a head like yours, if you headbutt someone, they'll be knocked into next week. Free kick then to Man City. Looking forward to Newcastle at the weekend. They're one of the form teams. They tore Leicester City apart on Boxing Day. They looked a classic act, only one defeat all season. Yeah, they've been excellent. Hopefully, though, we show a little bit more resistance than what we've done today. Melié's done really well to be alive to that. Melié's been our best player. He's done all he can to stop the goals today. But the defence has not helped him at all. They've not protected him. They've not been good enough for him. Strout dinks a little ball down the line. Aronson with the ball against Rodri. Dispossessed pretty easily. Oh, Joffy and Diego Llorente are coming on. I'm guessing that's going to be for Koch and Rodrigo. Oh no, Cooper's coming off. So Joffy's going to go on up front, and Diego Llorente's going to go on at left centre back. So expect another 2 goals conceded in the last 20 minutes. Gnonto looks like he's... Jack Grealish is coming off now as well for Man City. I didn't see who's coming on for Jack. Oh, Foden's coming on. So, another world-class player to come on against us. Oh, Leeds have won a corner at last. Harrison and JB are warming up on that touchline. I mean, like I said, though, what's the point making subs at this point? Like, we're just going to concede more. Ball into the box from Greenwood. Hey! Pascal Strout with a good header. I tell you what, Pascal Strout, I've never seen him head a ball like that before. He's always just been totally 50p head. Great header. Excellent cross into the box. Strout gets on the end of it. Great header towards the back post, and Edison can't keep it out. 3-1. All right. I see what you've done there, Strout. I like it. Back of the onion bag. At least we've scored a goal. I tell you what, that's good for our goal difference. I'm happy with goal difference help. I'm happy with goal difference help. Fair play. Leeds will have a little bit of... I think Leeds may have a little bit of zip in their step now. They may try and push a little bit because, let's be honest, it doesn't really matter now. All we can do is go for it. All we can do is go for it now, as we can just try and close everything down, try and win every second ball, and just try and nick another one, and then maybe it does get tight for the last 10 minutes. That's all we can hope for really now. Come on, Leeds. I'm not starting to believe. I won't believe it until I believe it. You can quote that. Yeah, massive because City are going to score heavy against the lower sides. Yeah. I know Burnley aren't in the Premier League anymore, but in the Prem before, Burnley have been smashed by Man City every time they've played. They always got beat like 5-0. So, yeah, teams down the bottom end do get tonked by City quite often. So if we can not have our deficit be as much, then that's obviously ideal. Although De Bruyne is just going into the box and Meslier is able to save low to his right, so he's done well there. Meslier tries to release Click on the right-hand side. Click is being closed down pretty quick by Foden, though. He's managed to keep the ball, turn inside, and give it back to Mark Rocker, who gives it all the way across to Diego Llorente, into Strauch. Strauch into Gnonto. Gnonto with a couple of players on his back, but good little ball into Aronson. Aronson's been fouled by John Stones, who stepped out from the back. Who was it, Greenwood, who took the corner? Yeah, it was Greenwood who took the corner. He did okay there. Well, he did excellent, actually. It was a really good delivery, but a lot of the time the delivery's terrible, so at least we know that once in a while it's good. A little bit of a dodgy back pass to Edison there, but nothing that the excellent with his feet goalkeeper can't handle. Long ball then up from Akanji, or Ake, I couldn't quite tell because I only saw it as it came off the screen. De Bruyne brings it down and gives it into Mahrez. Mahrez against Strauch on that right-hand side, and Mahrez decides to cut inside and give it into João Cancelo. Cancelo finds Ake on the left-hand side, who's looking for Foden outside him. Leeds are trying to sit defensively here, but Gelhardt's come in and won the ball. Excellent closing down from Gelhardt. He seems proper up for it. Strauch passes it into Gnonto's feet again. Strauch tries to play another ball after he's received it back from Gnonto, and it goes straight to Jesse Marsch, actually, in the technical area, which he wasn't planning on. So, yeah, I think City may just try and slow down the game now, maybe nick an extra goal. I say nick. They've scored 3 goals against us. I feel like they may want to try and get an extra one just to completely quell our hopes of scoring. And they're on their attack now again. Excellent ball from Rodri into Haaland. And Meslier saves against Haaland. Excellent from Meslier, but really poor finish from Haaland. He's just sort of like miskicked it, I think. Blake saying, Aronson is our hold-up man, but he can only draw fouls. We need someone with physicality to let the other players progress up the field without falling on the floor. Yeah, and that's exactly what Bamford did. That was what Bamford was so great at, is that if you couldn't play through the lines against a team like Man City, if you could send a ball long to somebody like Man City, maybe. Oh no, it's just free kick to Leeds. Bamford was able to actually hold the ball up when you sent him a long goal kick or anything like that, and he was able to back into his man, use his strength, and then play in players around him. Aronson's trying to win the ball and trying to hold it up for other players to get around him, but he's just not strong enough, so it doesn't particularly work. That's why we need that other striker. That's one of the things we need him for. Oh! Ball across the box to Gelhardt, who just gets a little toe on it and it just fizzes past the far post. Oh, Greenwood cuts the ball back. Gelhardt gets a toe on it and then it just fizzes past the post. That's agonising. That is so unlucky for him. Leeds are properly closing down now. They've made Edison panic, which is no mean feat. That was close. That was so close. Oh, now we're starting to wonder, aren't we? The only issue is that Haaland was in a minute ago down the other end, so there's always a chance that can happen. Ooh, Leeds are making a few chances here, you know. And if the crowd gets up for it, who knows? I'm not saying anything. Who knows? Man City have done well to play out there. But Leeds are trying to close them down and trying to squeeze them into making mistakes, which they've just done by giving the ball away to Robin Koch. Now with Ayling, passes it into Clicky. Click tries to chip it into Brendan Aronson, who I think may have handballed it there, but Leeds have still got possession here. Leeds have won a throw-in, so there's no way that can be called back now. Come on, Leeds. Let's get another one and make the last 10 minutes just a bit juicy for this game. Ball into the box. Ooh, just cut out. Man City are panicking a little bit here. Just a little bit for a team that is normally so calm. They're giving the ball away quite a few times. Nyonto's win a free kick in a good position. Something's happening. Leeds have got a free kick, yellow card for whoever it was that made that foul, but Nyonto's good. Nyonto is good at turning and just carrying the ball towards goal, and Rodri's got a yellow card for bringing him down on the edge of the box there. The only issue is we've got no good free kick takers, but, you know, sometimes it's possible. Sometimes it is possible. I think Nyonto's having his boots tied here by Mark Rocker. I'm pretty sure that lace is just like a loose lace that you tie round the boot and it's not even attached to the boot, which is weird. That I think Rocker is tying round. Well, to be fair, I think his boot might have been stood on. Greenwood and Rocker then stood over this free kick. Man City with 5 players in the wall and 1 lying underneath the wall. Come on, Greenwood. Come on, Greenwood. I mean, it's not going to go in, but if it does, then I'll be happy. So, always sets yourself up for disappointment, and then if it goes in, you're happy. So, Greenwood and Rocker stood over this one. Greenwood takes it. Ooh, not bad. Not bad. Kind of needed that to go in to have any chance, but... yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't fantastic, but, I mean, that's when you miss somebody like Rafinha. When you have a set piece like that and you need a goal. I think Pep Guardiola absolutely booted a water bottle and it flew and hit one of the Leeds staff and he went over straight away and apologised. So, yeah. To be fair, Pep seems like quite a decent bloke, and as soon as he'd realised that he'd just done that, he just went over and gave him a hug and was like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just take your head off with a water bottle, so fair play. Brendan Aronson coming off and Darko JB coming on. Did mention him before. He obviously used to be a Man City player, never really played for the first team, but he's now getting his chance to play against them in the Premier League. Ederson just rushed to take his goal kick there by Gnonto. Leeds are winning the ball back a lot here in midfield. Ball with Llorente. Out to Strauch. Do you know what? Do you know what really annoys me? Do you know what really annoys me? If we hadn't have had that mistake with Cooper and Koch, it would have actually been 2-1 at the moment. It would have been 2-1, and we would have had a chance then of coming back into the game. That's so disappointing and frustrating that it would have been 2-1, and if we scored another one, but we gave away that stupid goal, and now there's no chance. That's what annoys me. We don't give ourselves that extra chance to actually do something in games. Even against the top sides, we make mistakes, and it means that we're then just too far away from coming back into games. Edison's opted for a long lump there, which Strauch's won, but it's gone straight to Rodri, who's hit it back to him like it's kicking tennis, straight back to Strauch again. But Rodri's got it again after a little bit of a fracas in the midfield with Rocker and Click. Nathan Ake with the ball now. This is so frustrating for me because, like I said, give away that stupid goal like that and you just don't give yourself any chance, do you? Somebody's going to get a yellow card for Leeds here. I think it might be Ayling. Oh, Sam Greenwood, actually. Yeah, Greenwood's getting a yellow card there just for tripping up De Bruyne on purpose. Five minutes to go then. 3-1 to Man City, as you can see above me. Disappointing. Really disappointing. John Stones with the ball now, passing it out to Mahrez, who tries to get it inside, but it goes to Rocker. But somehow Man City have retained possession. De Bruyne passes it out wide to Gundogan, but Gundogan's pass to Foden is cut out by a Leeds player. And again, cuts out a pass to Phil Foden. Yeah, I mean, imagine if that Joffrey chance had gone in, if that Joffrey chance had gone in, and we hadn't have given away that opportunity in which they scored, which was ridiculous. It's 2-2, and obviously ifs and buts, but it just shows that the fine margins in football can mean a lot. Oh, Rocker's just tripped over the ball and it's gone straight back to a Man City player. At least this isn't horrendous for our goal difference. That's all I can say. If we lose, then at least it's not horrendous for our goal difference. And I'll probably be thinking about goal difference a lot more towards the end of the season. As the season gets further into it, goal difference is probably going to be a big thing, especially down the bottom end of the table. So Man City have won a corner here, right by the cheese wedge. Leeds fans singing your Leeds and you know you are to Haaland, who I'm sure doesn't mind that chant. It's not like he's getting abused or anything, is it? He's probably enjoying that one. He's probably going to score again here, to be honest. That's just what he's like. Stones just absolutely skies one over the bar. Stones is from Yorkshire, isn't he? Oh, he's born in Barnsley, yeah. I thought he was. So Riyad Mahrez is coming off and Cole Palmer is coming on. So he'll probably score as well. 2 minutes left then in this game. Well, obviously, I thought before this game we stood a lot more of a chance against Newcastle, but even then I feel like we may struggle if we give away some of the chances we've given away today. By the time we play Newcastle, it'll be January, won't it? So we might have a new player, maybe. I mean, I doubt it to be able to get it over the line that quick, but there will be a live stream on that as well for everybody who's in here. There will be a live stream on the Newcastle versus Leeds game, so look out for that on the channel, and there'll be some other stuff as well coming about the new signing Maximilian Vober and about this new 4-3-3 system. Gelhardt's in the box. Ooh, there was a bit of a scrappy attack in the box there for Leeds, and Man City were able to get away in the end, but Leeds have got the ball back with Sam Greenwood. Leeds have won a throw in here. He tried to play it into Click, but Ake's able to deal with it really easily. But again, JB's won it back off Haaland here. He's done well there. He's done well there, JB. Is that Man City free kick throw-in? Can't be. Well, it's a Man City throw-in here after JB has a bit of a battle with Haaland to try and get the ball. Well, apparently maybe it went out before that, but yeah, just counting down the clock here, really. 3-1. It's going to finish, I reckon. I don't think there's really anything else in this game now, unless Man City go up the other end and score. But we've had our little chances, which you can. Oh, Stones played a weak back pass then that nearly Gnonto nearly got on the end of. It's inevitable with Man City that they're going to put a few goals past you, but the way in which we've conceded them is really the most disappointing thing for me. And we've also had our chances, you know. Ball into Ayling. Ayling's took a terrible touch, tried to get it into the box. Oh, Joffy nearly got to it. Joffy nearly got to it at the front post, but it just hit the sort of stanchion behind the goal that pulls the goal tight, the big bar that pulls the goal tight. But yeah, Mark Rocker to take a corner then. Hopefully Pascal Strout gets on the end of another one here, and we reduce the deficit. Come on, Rocker. Good ball into the box. Edison's caught it. Not what I asked for, Rocker. Thank you. Five minutes of added time, by the way, that I forgot to say for anyone who can't see it live. 5 minutes of added time here, which we are 1 minute into. De Bruyne breaks over the halfway line. Plays an excellent switch out to Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer up against Pascal Strout on the right-hand side. Cole Palmer tries to cut inside, cut outside, then inside. Passes it to Cancelo, who links up with him, but Leeds are trying to push them back, and they've gone back to Stones just inside their half. Just inside our half. And Rodri plays an excellent ball into the box, though, for Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer's through. Passes it to Cancelo and Haaland, and it's blocked. Now De Bruyne carries the ball. He's carried it all the way from the centre out to the right-hand side, but he's got Gnonto and Strauch on him. But JB's won the ball off Cole Palmer and then been hacked down by Cole Palmer, who I'm assuming he'll probably be quite good friends with from the Manchester City Academy. Yeah, Cole Palmer's just completely missed the ball there and brought down JB. Just listen to the commentators talking about See, the commentators always say this on the basis of tonight's performance, that Leeds will always be working for each other. They look like they're still running for the manager. They're trying things, and they've created a couple of chances. But so Ali McCoy is saying that he thinks we'll be all right, but then we can see too many chances. We just give away too many chances. How can we be okay if we keep giving away this many chances? It's got to stop. It's got to be something that we really, really work on. I think he needs to bring in a defensive coach, because I think a lot of Marsh's philosophies and his actual coaching is about attacking and going forward, which is fair enough, but admit that that's your strong point and you're not great with defending, and then bring in a defensive coach who you can work alongside to try and come up with a formula to fix the issues that we have at the back as well as going forward. I just think that at the moment it's not good enough the way that we defend, and I don't think personnel is the only answer to that. If you look at it on the basis of tonight's game, one of the chances was from an actual errors, like a mistake leading to a goal, which Cooper or Koch will have that go down on their record, mistake leading to a goal. All the other chances have been players being dragged out of position, not knowing where to be at what moment. And so it's not necessarily just about who is in those positions. It's about them knowing where to be and where they're told to be for certain situations. A lot of them get dragged out. For Haaland's second goal, Haaland plays a simple 2 or 3 yard pass to Grealish. and stand still. 2 Leeds players get drawn to Grealish, and then leave Haaland on his own. So Grealish has got an easy pass back into Haaland's feet. Haaland can put it in the back of the net. It's simple stuff. One stays and one goes. You can't afford to both make that decision and both go to the wrong player. It's criminal, and that is not just down to the coaching, as well as the actual personnel who are playing in those positions, because they need to be better at that as well. So we're not going to be able to just buy a new back four overnight either. So we need to really think about coaching this defence to not get sucked into those positions where they get punished, because it happens far too often. 95th minute, full-time whistle has just gone in this game. 3-1 to Man City. Like I talked about there, I pretty much covered what I want to talk about with regards to this game. The defence, we get pulled out of position, we go the wrong way so many times, we get sucked into certain areas where we don't want to be, and we leave players like Haaland on his own, which is criminal. Then we make mistakes like Cooper and Cox mix up. But there is positive things. Gnonto was excellent again in driving the ball and trying to get the ball into the box. Aronson needs to be a little bit stronger and needs to learn the way of the Premier League a little bit more, but he's doing okay as well. And we just need to sort of capitalise on our chances and sort out our defence at the back, as it's just not good enough. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one. I am going to be live again. Like I said, I'm going to be live for the Newcastle game. I think, let me just check actually what day that's on, because I may not be able to, so it may be a match reaction. Let me just check. Leeds United versus Newcastle, Saturday the 31st of December, which is New Year's Eve. That's at 3 o'clock. I won't be able to stream that one actually, but I will have a match reaction on the channel for that game as well. And there's also going to be some content regarding Maximilian Vober, and there's also going to be some content regarding the way that we defend and this new 4-3-3 that we've been playing. So yeah, thanks for watching this one. Subscribe if you're new, like the stream if you enjoyed it, and I should see you next time on Leeds Lately, where there'll be plenty more content like I just mentioned. Thank you so much for watching and joining me again on one of these live streams. I really appreciate all the support that you've given me. I hope everyone had an excellent Christmas, and hope you all have a good New Year as well. There will be some content coming out in between now and New Year, but for now, thanks for sticking with me, thanks for watching the stream, and I'll see you next time on Leeds Lately.